Hi there, everybody. It's time to travel. I'm Leah.
And I'm Mike.
And we are not going to stay in Taiwan for very long.
Where are we going? Where are we going?
We are going to Thailand.
Nice.
With our travel edition here, we are going, well, it's November and we're going away. We're going to Chiang Mai. And Chiang Mai is in northern Thailand.
That's right. This is the mountain city, isn't it?
It is one of. There are several areas up there that are fun to get to and to stay in for an extended period of time. And yeah, there's a lot to do, as we're going to find out over the course of the next 2 days. So why don't we get in there right now and take a listen to our article one time.
Dreaming of an epic adventure in Southeast Asia? Look no further than Chiang Mai. November is the perfect time to explore this charming city in northern Thailand. As the rainy season ends, the weather becomes cooler and more comfortable. This month also brings the famous Loi Krathong Sai Festival, where thousands of floating lanterns are released onto bodies of water, creating a magical and unforgettable sight. Chiang Mai is home to many beautiful Buddhist temples, or Wats. Wat Phra Singh is one of the most famous and revered temples in Chiang Mai. The most striking element is its golden tower, which stands tall among the temple buildings and can be seen from far away. Wat Chiang Man, the first and oldest temple in Chiang Mai, boasts over 700 years of history. A major highlight of the temple's pagoda is its base, which features 15 life-sized stone elephants carved in realistic proportions. When visiting these sacred places, remember to dress modestly by covering your shoulders and knees. It's also polite to remove your shoes before entering temple buildings. No trip to Chiang Mai would be complete without a visit to Wararat Market. This bustling marketplace is filled with colorful stalls selling fresh produce, exotic spices, and authentic Thai snacks. You can find unique souvenirs here, like handmade crafts and clothing. It's a great place to practice your bargaining skills, but always do so with a smile. Animal lovers shouldn't miss the ethical elephant sanctuaries in Chiang Mai. Unlike some tourist attractions, these institutions focus on elephant welfare. Visitors can feed, bathe, and observe these magnificent creatures in their natural habitat. It's a chance to learn about elephant conservation and enjoy a mud spa alongside these amazing animals.
Okay, everybody, so we are going to Chiang Mai. It's November. It's the end of the year. Why are we going to Chiang Mai now? We're going to find out. But first, we got to dream about it. So in day one, we start out with dreaming of an epic adventure in Southeast Asia. You notice a question mark after that? So we're asking you, are you dreaming about taking an epic adventure somewhere in Southeast Asia? Epic here means like super, amazing, grand, incredible. So you want to go on this incredible adventure in Southeast Asia. And that is an area including areas like Vietnam, Singapore, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, Indonesia, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, not Taiwan. But yeah, so you're getting out of Taiwan and you're going to Southeast Asia. Well, look no further than Chiang Mai. I love this expression. If you're looking to find the right person to hire, a friend of yours might say, look no further than my brother. It means my brother is the perfect guy for you to hire for the job. Here we're using look no further than Chiang Mai, which means Chiang Mai is the perfect place to go when you're looking for an epic adventure in Southeast Asia.
All right. So yeah, that's the time of the season time of the year we are. We're in the fall season. And actually, that might be great. As we read next, November is the perfect time to explore this charming city in northern Thailand. I'm imagining the winter would be great. You wouldn't have the high temperatures of the summer. There might be fewer people there in November. I think a lot of people travel to this part of the world in the summertime and also maybe later in December, January, going into Chinese New Year. So November might be that sweet spot right after the summer. School's back. Kids are not there. Kids are all in school, so parents are working at home. And it's a good time to visit there if you can. And also, because of the local geography and the local weather, it might actually make even more sense. And this is something we learn in the following sentence. As the rainy season ends, the weather becomes cooler and more comfortable. So definitely a place to go if you're getting a little tired of the heat here in Taiwan, or you've just had a long, hot summer and you want to go somewhere nice and cool. Good weather for hiking up in some of those beautiful mountains too, I imagine. This month, it says, also brings the famous Loy Krathong Sai Festival. And I apologize to anyone who speaks Thai for my terrible pronunciation. But it says, where thousands of floating lanterns are released onto bodies of water, creating a magical and unforgettable sight. So it's kind of like the Lantern Festival that, of course, we know here, which happens after Chinese New Year. And there, they're not releasing these beautiful lanterns at night up into the sky, as we do, but they're putting them on the water. There's going to be thousands of these floating lanterns, and they're released. That means basically they're let go onto the water, right? The people will go down to a riverside or the side of a canal, possibly, and they'll, bend down and drop their little lanterns gently in the water, and as the wind blows them and the waves sort of push them, the currents push them along, they become this beautiful sea, this kind of carpet of lovely little lights sitting there and floating around on the water. It's a magical and unforgettable sight. Just picturing it in my mind, I'm already getting an idea of how wonderful and amazing this would be.
And it is in Thailand. And of course, rainy season going back before to in Thailand is June to end of October. So if you've ever been there and you're looking for cheap places to visit or times to stay when things are a lot cheaper, if you're willing to go through a period of rain in the day, it doesn't mean the whole day normally rains. It's normally like 30 minutes or an hour. Then you go during rainy season and you get much more discounted rates. And the interesting thing about this Loy Krathong Sai festival is that it's really celebrated in a lot of places around that area. So like in Laos, Xishuangbanna, which is in southwestern China, and also throughout a lot of areas in Southeast Asia. I think it originated possibly in India, but there's some confusion about that, whether that's true or not. But it definitely gives you a reason to go and visit Chiang Mai because it seems like a beautiful festival to watch in Chiang Mai. But that's not all. Chiang Mai is home to many beautiful Buddhist temples or Wats. So Buddhist temples in Thailand are called Wats. And that's without an H, and it's not what, it's Watts, right? Or Wat. And Buddhist being the religion where you have Siddhartha Gautama, he's sitting under a tree, he's imagining the world. It's a religion where people are in nature. You do nice things to others, other people do good things to you. I don't think I have to explain this to most people in Taiwan because there are many Buddhists in Taiwan. It is a vegetarian religion by far. Most I think most or all Buddhists are vegetarian. And yeah, it's a very peaceful philosophy / religion that is very well followed in many places in Asia. Wat Prasing is one of the most famous and revered temples in Chiang Mai. So this Wat Prasing is one of the most well-known. It's one of the most famous and revered. So it is treated or regarded with honor and respect. If you revere someone, you normally kind of raise them up on a pedestal, normally because they have some amazing talent, or you think they're just incredible people or very smart, like a famous scientist, like say Einstein. I think he would be very revered by a lot of people for what he introduced about the theory of relativity in science, not necessarily about his personal life. But yeah, this is one of the revered temples in Chiang Mai. So what's so special about it?
Well, it is lovely. It actually appears really, really beautiful. So that would be one of the most impressive things. Even before you get into it, you would notice the most striking element is its golden tower, which stands tall among the temple buildings and can be seen from far away. So wonderful for tourists. You don't even have to pull out your phone and your GPS. You can just look around, and when you see a giant golden tower, head that way. That is the tower that sort of is the centerpiece of this temple, and it says it stands tall. That means it kind of just sticks out. It's higher than things. It's more noticeable. You could definitely say Taipei 101 stands tall in the eastern district or eastern area of Taipei. You don't have to look too hard to find it because it sticks up. It stands out from the lower buildings around it, very much like this, and even more impressive and even easier to catch your eye, this tower is golden. So that's absolutely amazing. It might actually even be covered with some gold.
Right.
And it can be seen from far away. So that is a good thing, as I said, for tourists who might be a little bit lost on their way there. And then it says, Wat Chiang Man, the first and oldest temple in Chiang Mai, boasts over 700 years of history. Okay, so this would be a different temple, I'm imagining. It has a longer history than the Wat Phra Sing. Wat Phra Sing may be bigger and more impressive and things like that, but Wat Chiang Man, for those history buffs, is actually the first and oldest temple in Chiang Mai. That's kind of impressive for both reasons. Both that it's still there and it's so old, and also it's the first temple that was ever there, and it's still there today. And how long? Well, it says it boasts over 700 years of history. When we talk about boasting something in the world, it has a different meaning from a person boasting. If a person is boasting, we would generally think that they're being overly proud of themselves. I'm so great. I'm so wonderful. Everyone loves me. You're kind of boasting. But we could talk about, I guess we could use it with a person, but often we use this with a place. If a place boasts something, it has nothing to do with being very proud of something. It just means it has a lot of those things there, all right? Kind of in a special way, in an interesting way, maybe in a convenient way. You know, you could say Taiwan boasts over what? 20,000 convenience stores. Or, most cities in Taiwan boast wonderful night markets. So these are kind of special features, attractive, interesting, unique things about this place. And definitely it's quite unique that this is the first and oldest temple, and it's boasting 700 years of history. It's a unique feature of this, and possibly they're a little bit proud of it too. So when we say boast, there could be a little bit of that pride, but different from when a person is boasting about how great they are and being obviously overly proud. It says a major highlight of the temple's pagoda is its base, which features 15 life-sized stone elephants carved in realistic proportions. Oh my goodness. So this is a major highlight. This is a major feature, something you would definitely want to find if you're wandering around in this temple complex. You go to the pagoda. A pagoda is kind of a tower, basically, in a temple. Sometimes pagodas in Buddhist or Taoist temples can actually be that place where you might burn your ghost money or something like that. So it might actually stand as a chimney or a repository for dead people's bones or ashes. But basically, it's a tower-like structure that we often find in an Eastern-style temple. The definition and the use of pagoda, the actual description can change a little bit depending on what you're talking about. But we're thinking of a smaller tower-like structure. And the base is basically the bottom of the tower, all right? So at the base of Taipei 101 is a large shopping mall, you could say, or something like that. And the base of this pagoda, this temple tower, features 15 life-sized stone elephants carved in realistic proportions. Well, saying life-sized and saying in realistic proportions, that's kind of the same thing because life-sized is true to their size in life. So this isn't a small carving of a temple that's only, 10 or 5 or 10 centimeters tall. How tall is an elephant? 2, 3 meters, 3 meters tall?
Yeah.
It's probably about 3 meters tall and 3 or 4 meters long. It's the same size as an elephant is in life. It's life-sized. And then when we say it's carved in realistic proportions, that basically means it's life-sized because realistic is the way it is in reality. So we're not changing it. We're not exaggerating things. Obviously, if you have a little 10-centimeter carving of an elephant on your desk, that's not realistic. You cannot find an elephant that's only the size of your hand in the real world. So realistic means true to life, true to nature, true to reality. And proportions are basically the sizes of things in relation to other things, all right? So if I'm drawing a picture of a person and then I draw their ears to be the size of an elephant's ears, that's not the right proportion. Someone would say, those ears are way too big for that person's face. So often we use this word when talking about drawing or designing things. An artist who is really interested in capturing an image true to life, realistic, would have to be very careful with the proportions. If you're doing more modern art like Picasso, He could do eyes that are really big and in weird positions and things like that. He wasn't worried about proportion so much. But if you're making a drawing, another type of drawing, if you're making a landscape and kind of making it look like a picture or making it look like it's 3D, like it has depth and dimension to it, again, their proportions would be very important. So on these elephants, not only are they as big as they would be in real life, but the ears, the eyes, the trunk, the feet, all of the parts of the elephant in these carvings are very much true to life size.
That is very fascinating, and I'm sure our Chinese teacher has something to tell us about all of that right now.
Hello everyone, 我是派老师，今天讲解的是11月19号 Unit 10, A November to Remember in Chiang Mai, Day 1, 第一天单元内容。这个单元所介绍的是泰国清迈。许多人听到泰国，脑海中第一个浮现的城市或许是曼谷。不过曼谷虽然是泰国首都，也因为是泰国的政治经济中心，所以繁荣忙碌的景象跟其他亚洲大城市相比，其实有点类似。我自己之前去的时候，甚至会觉得某些角落和台北蛮像的。但是位于泰国北部的清迈，异国风味就比较浓厚了，很建议大家有机会可以去造访。好，我们一起来看学习重点吧。请同学看到第一段的第二个句子 Look no further than Chiang Mai。 那所以假设你想要在东南亚有这种史诗级的探险冒险，不用再找了 Look no further than， 那就不用再找了，就在这里，就是清迈。好，那文章建议我们什么时候去呢？最好的时间就是11月 November is the perfect time。 后面有解释啊，因为雨季呢结束了。再来第5个句子也告诉我们另外一个理由，就是这里是这个时候去是有庆典可以看的。什么庆典呢？就是他们的 Loy Krantong Sai Festival， 就是水灯节。那后面的这个关系子句，其实呢大家看到前面 where 前面有一个逗点，这就是一个非限定修饰，是补充说明水灯节。水灯节是专有名词嘛，不需要形容词子句特别去做区别。那所以这里是补充说明水灯节是怎么样呢？在水灯节的时候，会有数千盏的灯漂浮在水面上，那会放入水中，营造出神奇难忘的景象。这里的 bodies of water 所指的就是水域。再来，请同学看到第二段第一个句子 Chiang Mai is home to， 这 be home to 就这里有很多，这里我们把它翻译成有就好了。清迈有许许多多的佛教寺庙，那在泰文呢他们称为 Wat。 好，再来这里呢就介绍第一座寺庙是帕辛寺，请同学看到的是后面这些过去分词当作形容词用的 revered， 画了底线，但同学呢可以学着辨识这个字，其实就是 respected 的意思，就是受到尊崇的。那这座寺庙的特点是什么呢？ The most striking element， 在这景点里面当然有很多值得看的，其中有一点那引人注目的 striking 就是引人注目的是什么呢？它的金色佛塔，那 which stands tall， 这里的 tall 呢它不能够大家要注意这里是形容词，因为它是主词补语啊，就是这一座高塔金色的佛塔呢，它是不是耸立在这个寺院当中。再来请同学看到下一座寺庙就是清迈寺，那这里呢看到一个动词 boasts over 700 years of history。 boast 后面加的通常就是正面的东西，历史很悠久，这是个正面的嘛。好，所以这里有700多年的历史。好，再来请看到第5个句子主词的部分 a major highlight， 这座寺庙还有一个亮点，就是它的这个佛塔 pagoda。 那这个佛塔很特别的就是它的底座啊 its base 有多特别呢？一样后面又再加了一个非限定修饰的关系子句来进一步说明，它有15尊真实比例的石雕大象。
All right, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back. All right, going back in, we know we have all these incredible temples in the Chiang Mai area. But what do you do when you go to these temples? Well, when visiting these sacred places, these holy places, these places that have religious artifacts and different things that you will probably go and pray to, remember to dress modestly by covering your shoulders and knees. That is something that is very, very strongly strictly held in Thailand. If you walk into a temple and you are not covering your shoulders and knees, they might not let you in. They might tell you need to go and buy something, or in a lot of Watts, they also might have something that you can borrow, like a wraparound sarong that you can use to cover up your knees if you walked in shorts, or for a girl, they might have something that you can wrap around. If you've walked in like a spaghetti strap top or something like that, you shouldn't do that. If you know you're going to a temple in Thailand, make sure you cover up a little bit and you dress just a little bit more conservatively. It's also polite to remove your shoes before entering temple buildings. I don't think this one will bother anybody in Taiwan, as most of the time when you enter a house in Taiwan, you're going to remove your shoes. It might be a bit confusing for Americans out there because Americans don't usually remove their shoes when they go into buildings. No trip to Chiang Mai would be complete without a visit to Warat Market. So we've moved from temples and now we're changing, our scenery. We're going over to markets, places where food is bought, places where things are sold, maybe souvenirs, maybe fresh fruit, maybe fish. We don't know exactly. This bustling marketplace is filled with colorful stalls selling produce, exotic spices, and authentic Thai snacks. So it looks like this is not so much of a big meat market or so. It is a bustling market, which means it's very busy. If you're in a bustling area, it means it's a very busy area. So going to Taipei Xini District on a Friday night, that will be a very bustling time to go there. And if you're trying to get into a restaurant in that area during that time, you're definitely going to wait. Ding Tai Fung, most any night, is always a bit bustling. So there's a lot of people around. They're moving around. They're kind of bumping into each other a little bit. That's a feeling of a bustling space. And marketplaces are often bustling when you're selling things here and there. And here they have the colorful stalls. So they're not just like boring, stalls. They're actually quite decorated. And they're selling fresh produce, so fresh vegetables, fresh fruits, things like that. Exotic spices. They might have cardamom. They might have lemongrass. They might have all these different flavors that would be used possibly in Thai food making. And they also have authentic Thai snacks. So little things that you absolutely want to be sure to buy when you run into a bustling market.
Absolutely. And also come with an empty belly, because I'm sure you'd love to try some of those snacks and other delicious Thai food as you walk around. And a great place to do some shopping for all your friends and family at home who are sitting there being jealous while you're having a great time in Thailand. It says you can find unique souvenirs here, like handmade gifts and clothing. Yeah, things for you, things for friends back home, things to bring back to show what a great time you had on your holiday. That's what we call souvenirs. If you go shopping on a holiday and you just buy yourself a nice pair of shoes or something, I guess you could say that's a souvenir. But generally, when we think of this word, we're thinking of things from that place that remind you of your holiday there, right? So you're buying a t-shirt with Chiang Mai on the front, or you buy yourself a little carving of an elephant or a temple or something like that. Souvenir, actually, this is a bonus word. It's also the French word for to remember, right? To souvenir is to remember. To souviens, I'm not sure if it's that one but basically it means to remember something. So it's an item that you would bring as a memory of a trip or a place or something like that. And as we said, make great gifts for friends and family back home. It says that's the market. It's a great place to practice your bargaining skills, but always do so with a smile. That is a good tip. If you're bargaining there, do it with a good smile and a sense of humor. I'm sure most of the things there are quite cheap anyways, so you can feel free to bargain quite happily and freely. Bargaining is that sort of skill and art where you're trying to negotiate the price. You can bargain, you can negotiate, you can haggle. We also might use that word, Haggle. And basically, you go to a market where they don't have kind of set prices. This is good to do in markets. You'd be less successful if you were bargaining in a 7-Eleven over the price of a chocolate bar. because those are kind of set prices. But where the price is a little flexible, they might say, this will be $10. And you say, I don't know. How about $5? And they say, how about $8? And you say, ooh, $6 is... And then finally you reach $7 or something like that. It's a happy price for both people. So you're kind of negotiating, kind of knocking the price back and forth. The seller wants a little higher, you want it a little lower, and you do that until you find a price that is acceptable to anyone. And that's a good tip. Do it with a smile. This is not a competitive sport. This is not life or death, haggling over the price of a carved elephant or something like that. So do it with a sense of humor. Don't get too serious about it, because otherwise tempers can get frayed and moods can become sour.
And if you don't want to go to the market, or after you go to the market, well, animal lovers shouldn't miss the ethical elephant sanctuaries in Chiang Mai. Unlike some tourist attractions, these institutions focus on elephant welfare. So animal lovers, people who love animals, shouldn't miss out on going to these ethical elephant sanctuaries. Ethical here is used these days a lot when you're talking about something being created or grown in a manner that is thinking about the people who are doing the growing, that they are being given the right amount of money to do the process, and they aren't working super long hours, they're giving proper treatment, everybody's being taken care of throughout the process. And in Thailand, historically, elephants were used in tourist areas where they were giving rides to people everywhere, and that was something that after a while, people were saying this isn't very ethical. It's not thinking about the welfare, the good of the elephants. So let's stop that, and we'll create these sanctuaries. And sanctuaries are these safe places where the elephants can be, where they are not forced to, carry heavy loads or work, in tourist spots and stuff like that. Unlike some tourist attractions, these institutions, these formed organizations focus on elephant welfare. So these different organizations, they worry about whether an elephant is doing well or not. Elephant welfare would include not having them carry heavy weights, not having them be poked at by kids or tourists as they come through. Things that are for the good of the person or the good of the animal. Human welfare would be thinking of having enough place to sleep, having enough food, having clothes to wear, getting an education. That would all be things that would be considered in the welfare of a human. The welfare of an elephant means not creating a very stressful life for them, letting them live in a safe place like a sanctuary. Visitors can feed, bathe, and observe these magnificent creatures in their natural habitat. So if you go there, you get to work. You get to basically volunteer. You get to help them get some food. You get to give them baths, which must be really cool. I think you have to use a brush to give them a bath, and observe. So watch these magnificent, these amazing, these incredible creatures in their natural habitat. Habitat here is the place where you live, the place where you go about your daily business. For an animal, it's likely to be in the woods or the forest, depending, maybe deserts for some animals. The water for some animals would be their habitat, their natural habitat, where they naturally will be, where they would naturally be born, grow up, live, and die. And it's a chance to learn about elephant conservation and enjoy a mud spa alongside these amazing animals. So you get to learn about how to take care of animals and help keep them alive, help them be able to thrive, help to prevent them from going extinct or become endangered. That's all about animal conservation, and enjoy a mud spa. So you maybe get to get into the mud, or maybe when you're giving them a bath, you get mud all over you alongside these amazing animals. Seems like a great reason to visit Thailand. Seems like a great reason to visit Chiang Mai. Seems like a great reason for us to take a break now and listen to our Chinese teacher one more time.
第二段还有2个句子很重要哦。首先是第6个句子这里的 sacred places， 这个 sacred 就是神圣的。那同学请特别注意的，我们要入境随俗去参观这些寺庙的时候要穿得得体。那要记住不要袒胸露背的，所以肩膀不要露出来。那如果是女孩子呢，尽量这个裙子的长度可能要长一点，男生也不适合穿短裤。再来我们看第3段，第一个句子，这是非常英文的写法 No trip to Chiang Mai would be complete without， 所以同学可以把它特别画起来。 那其实就像是这样子负负得正，所以我们中文通常会比较是以正面的手法直接去写，就是说假设你去了清迈，一定要去一个地方，那他会说你如果没有去这个地方，那这趟旅程就不完整。类似的用法呢，还有像什么啊？同学可能喜欢吃意大利菜，那所以我们可以用同样的句型造个句子 No Italian dinner would be complete without a glass of wine。 那你吃意大利餐一定要搭配葡萄酒。再来请看第二个句子，第二个句子老师要介绍的一个单字呢，就是在最后面的 authentic Thai snacks。 那这个 authentic 这个字非常重要一般而言，我们通常有时候会说这是真实的意思，但在这里我们就把它翻成什么正宗的啊，道地的。好，再来请同学呢看到第4段全文的后面了。除了呢有这一些历史的古迹可以看以外，这里呢也可以鼓励大家多亲近大自然。大自然当中有大家喜爱的动物，什么样的动物呢？大象。不过要看大象呢，请同学要特别注意，不要去看那一些逼着大象做马戏团表演的节目。那我们可以去亲近这些大象保护区。 Animal lovers shouldn't miss the ethical elephant sanctuaries。 所以这个 sanctuary 这里所指的呢，就是保护这些大象地方了。好，那有别于其他的景点，像这些 elephant sanctuaries， 它的特点是什么呢？它很重视的是象群的福利，它不会去剥削它们，那让这大象呢可以在它们的自然栖息地里面继续生存，是 natural habitat， 就是它们原本的栖息地。所以大家可以进一步的去了解大象保育怎么做。所以看到第4个句子，这里就提到 elephant conservation 指的就是动物的保育。好，以上就是我们针对清迈这个景点第1天内容所做的中文讲解，谢谢大家。
All right, everybody, join us again tomorrow for day 2 of our story about Chiang Mai. For English Digest, I'm Leah.
And I'm Mike.
Bye.
Bye-bye.